Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you would please rise and welcome Class 59. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the presentation of the colors and our national anthem. Class, right, nice.
Detail. Halt. Post colors. Post. Ready. Hang. Ready. Drop. Present. Arms. Order. Arms. Left. Face. Forward. Mark.
Class, left, face. Thank you. You may be seated. Again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christopher Perriott, and I am the Director of Kirtland Community College Regional Police Academy and Criminal Justice Programs. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the loved ones, friends, and guests for attending the graduation ceremony for Class 59. I would also like to recognize those in attendance, our Board of Trustees, Mr. Jack Kramer, Mr. Ed Perrin, our college president, Dr. Gary Roberts, our Dean of Occupational Programs, Barb Waldron, our law enforcement representatives from Alpena Police Department, Crawford County Sheriff, Saginaw Valley State University, Osceola County, Oscoda Township, Roscommon County, and Wexford County. I would also like to extend a thank you to the law enforcement officers and emergency responders who are present today. Thank you all for attending. The last 17 weeks have been a testament to the discipline, the fortitude, and the perseverance shown here by each individual cadet. Each cadet seated here today can be especially proud of the hard work they have put forth these last 4 months. The training they have received has transformed them physically, as well as preparing them mentally and emotionally for what they will face as law enforcement officers. Our goal here at Kirtland is to provide our Academy cadets with the finest in basic law enforcement instruction. We accomplish this through our partnership with the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards and by employing an expert cadre of instructors. Our Regional Police Academy continues to be revered as one of the finest law enforcement academies in the state of Michigan. We cannot do this without the support from our College Board of Trustees, the college administration, our program staff, and our instructors. And like every business or institution, we all have a team or an individual that always performs above and beyond what is asked of them. They continually give 100% no matter what the task, even when it may not be their responsibility. I am especially proud that we in the criminal justice programs have such a person. At this time, I would like to recognize that individual who, behind the scenes, makes all of this possible. Our coordinator, Teresa Feldhauser. Mrs. Feldhauser's dedication, hard work, attention to detail continue to further improve this program and assist the cadets to their goal of graduation. Without Mrs. Feldhauser's countless hours and painstaking work, none of this would be possible. So if you would please join me in a round of applause and have Mrs. Feldhauser join us here on stage. Our cadre of instructors are chosen from the finest experts in the law enforcement field. Their professionalism and passion for teaching allows us to graduate and send the most qualified personnel to serve and protect your communities. If we have any of our instructors present, would they please stand to be recognized? I know they're here. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking these folks. I can honestly say that this is the greatest career that anyone can choose. This profession is a calling, and it chooses you, not the other way around. It is full of good times and bad, highs and lows, hours of boredom followed immediately by minutes of your heart racing and adrenaline rushing through your veins. Nowhere else within our society can you find a job with such diversity, challenge, and satisfaction. For me, after serving nearly 3 decades, I have learned the value of having loved ones in your life. Having these individuals walk along with you during this journey is something that all cops must have. Having someone to talk to with, share those moments within your day, no matter how small they are, will allow you to better cope with what you see, what you hear, smell, and feel. These cadets have spent the last 17 weeks preparing for the day when they will graduate, take their oath, serve, and protect the citizens of their communities. But what they also need is a promise or a guarantee from you, their loved ones, friends, and family. You have to promise to be there for them in those good times and in the bad. So, with that, I would like all of you that have someone special seated to my left to please stand. And you are going to take an oath of your own. I do this at every class because personally this means so much to me. To have someone in your life that you can depend on to go to is something that you folks have to do for these people. So, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. Bless you. I state your name. Come on, we got to hear it. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to be patient, compassionate, loving, and understanding. 2, state your cadet's name. I promise to be that shoulder to cry on, a calming voice when there is doubt and uncertainty. I promise to be there to talk on any day, at any hour that you need. Remember that. I also promise to give you a swift kick in the pants when I feel you need one. I promise to be there for you and stand by you as you protect the innocent and aid the weak by being their shield against the darkness. Thank you. Have a seat. Our cadets get hours and hours of training on resilience and mental health for themselves, and having you by their side for the rest of their lives is extremely important. Now I would like to welcome our commencement speaker, Director of Kirtland's Public Safety, Chief Glenn Gutierrez.
Good morning, everyone. Class 59, good morning. Thank you for your introduction. I appreciate that. It's an honor and a privilege to be here this morning and participate in this ceremony. I'd like to thank everybody for showing up and coming out to support your graduate. Without the support of family and friends, most of us would not even be where we are at today. So thank you so much for being a part and playing the part in their lives that you did to get them where they're at today. Cadets, Class 59, today's the last day. Marks the culmination of a long 17 weeks. I got to see most of you daily for the last 17 weeks in one way or another, and that was enjoyable for me. This also marks the completion of some of you, your college degree. So I'm sure there were times during the last 4 months that you thought to yourself, this is never going to end, or maybe, I can't make this, I can't do this. But you did. You all did it. You all pulled through. You helped each other out. You made it to the end. And it's, it was a lot. It was early mornings, long days, studying, testing, PT sessions, a lot of sweat, a little bit of blood maybe too, pepper spray, which brought the tears on whether you wanted them or not, right? But you did it. You made it through all of that. So it's something that you should each be proud of, and it's a very great accomplishment. However, the end is just the beginning for all of you. It's the beginning of the next chapter in your life. It's the beginning of your law enforcement career, which could span from anywhere, to a year, or if you decide this isn't for you, or 35 years or more. So it is the next phase. It's the next stage. It's just the beginning. So you're entering the most challenging and also most rewarding profession on earth, in my opinion, that of a police officer. As you know, it can be a very dangerous profession. You see it on the news all the time. It's also very physically demanding, mentally and emotionally demanding. As director, and we didn't compare notes, but as he said, it's hours and hours of boredom surrounded by moments of sheer terror and excitement and, edge of your seat, what am I going to do now? So it's both ends. You'll experience pain and suffering, both emotionally and physically throughout your career. You will lose some friends and you'll suffer broken relationships because of your job. And the sad truth is that some of you, or maybe all of you, at some point will have to bury a coworker during your career. It's just the statistics are that way. So, it's a very tough and a very stressful profession. And as a police officer, you will have higher levels of stress than you've previously had in your life, except for maybe some of you military folks. But it's a extended length of stress. It's 30 years of stress. So you have to know how to deal with it. It's very important to maintain your mental health, your physical health. You've got to find constructive ways to deal with the negative aspects of the job. One way to do that is to make exercise and proper nutrition a part of your lifestyle. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, man, PT's over. I'm not doing that anymore. Well, you got to stick with it. You got to make it a lifestyle, make it a part of your life. It's also important to have a support network in place. And, I can't stress enough, you got to be able to get that out. You got to get the stresses out, the things you'll see. And it's important for your mental health to be able to do that. So you got to have a support network. And I think, like Director Perriott said, the best place to start are the people seated in the rows in front of you. They're your family, they're your friends, some of your coworkers. They're the best place to start. Maybe it's another friend somewhere that you had a lifelong friend somewhere out there, maybe a counselor, or even the pastor of your church. You've just got to find a positive way to be able to deal with the stress and have somebody to talk to and support you through this. Not only for your mental health, but also your physical health. So the title of police officer carries with it a great deal of authority. When you put a badge on, you have the authority to take somebody's life if you need to. So there's a lot of stress that goes with that. And along with that power and that authority becomes a lot of responsibility as well. Two of your responsibilities are kind of cliche, but they're to serve and protect, just like the director said. You've all heard it before, but it is true. Serving and protecting are what police officers do. The citizens you serve, and they will call upon you for some of the most outrageous things you could possibly dream of. And if you've watched cops on TV or live PD, there's some crazy stuff out there. But you may wonder why am I going to this? Why am I dealing with this? Why am I wasting my time? And for you, it will be a complete waste of time. But to them, it's something very important. And otherwise, they wouldn't have called the police to begin with. So you can't minimize those situations. It becomes easy to do that, but to them it's important. The second part of that is protecting. You're a servant and you're a protector. You protect property, you protect places, you protect people, most of all, the citizens of our communities, your loved ones. You keep them safe. In my opinion, you protect our very way of life here in America, our freedom. Our military protects us from foreign threats, but our law enforcement protects us from all the domestic threats that take place every day. And if you can imagine what our country would be like without any police officers patrolling our streets, we all know it would be total chaos. So you have a very important job protecting our country. They're cliche, but they're important. And while performing these duties every day, you have the opportunity to impact lives and opinions of people. We live in a society where everybody knows the opinions of police officers are very polarized. We're either loved or we're hated, and there's really not a lot of in between. So I want to challenge each of you as you begin your careers. Each and every day, I want you to try to influence somebody's opinion about law enforcement in a positive way. See if you can sway them towards the positive side. So you have to think about, how do I do this? And most people will have very little contact with police through the course of their lives. They may see them in passing, they may see them at a gas station, but they don't have a lot of face-to-face contact with police. So, that one interaction you may have with somebody could totally sway their opinion of the entire law enforcement profession based on that single conversation you have. So I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to make that a positive interaction even after you've worked 12 hours and you're gassing up and you're tired and you want to go home and somebody walks up to the gas station just to ask a question. Try to remember, you're there, they see you as their means to an end, to an answer, to help. So try to make that as positive as you possibly can every day. And to do that, I think a good rule of thumb to follow is to treat others as you would want to be treated. And even better yet, treat others how you would want your loved ones to be treated, your mom, your siblings, your children. You would want them to be treated with respect and dignity, so you should try to strive every day to treat others that way. And of course, there'll come a time when they give you a reason not to treat them that way, and that's when you obviously have to change things. But until that time comes, treat others with dignity and respect. Even the hardened criminal, which sometimes is the hardest one to treat with dignity and respect, but they deserve it as well, again, until they give you a reason not to. It'll impact not only your personal reputation, but the reputation of the law enforcement community as a whole. Be friendly and courteous, compassionate, and remember, not everyone is a criminal. Good people make mistakes, so not everybody deserves a ticket. Sometimes it's just an honest mistake. So try to work on that discretion as well. And be humble in the process. Nobody likes a cocky, arrogant person, much less a police officer. Again, that gives them a reason to think of us in a negative light. So try to be humble along the way. And maintain your integrity and your ethics. Ethical character is sometimes hard to define, but a good way to describe it is doing the right thing when nobody else is watching, even if doing the wrong thing is not illegal. So do the right thing. Challenge yourself to do the right thing at all times. Strive to tell the truth all the time, because your reputation and your credibility depend on you being that person of integrity. And trust me, you're going to make mistakes. Everybody wearing this uniform has made a mistake or multiple mistakes. That's to be expected. We're human. However, when you make that mistake, own up to it. Be honest enough to own up to that mistake. As I said in my opening statement, you are entering a challenging and also a rewarding profession. And you will be challenged daily in many different ways, but you're probably thinking, we know it's challenging, so what's the reward for doing this? Why do I do this? It isn't going to be notoriety or fame necessarily, and it certainly is not the paycheck, because you will not get rich being a police officer. Again, we can all attest to that, who are wearing this uniform. The reward really is just that feeling you get inside when you've helped somebody through their crisis, whatever that crisis may be, and they reach out, shake your hand, and say, "Thank you, officer." That, it really, for me, has always been the most rewarding part of my job. So in closing, I just want to say, again, congratulations, Class 59. Welcome to this wonderful family of law enforcement. Enjoy your career. Take the time to enjoy it, because it goes by really fast, whether you believe it or not. And it has been a pleasure watching you all every day, watching you progress through the program, making some friendships. And, I'll be glad to call you all brother and sister in the community of law enforcement after today. And remember, if you ever need somebody to talk to, I'm always here. You guys know where I'm at. You know how to get a hold of me. So I make that pledge to you as well, that I'll always be there for you. If you need somebody, call anytime. So with that, stay safe, work smart, and may God guide and protect you each and every day of your career. So thank you, and God bless.
No, it's yours. Next is our speaker from Class 59, Deputy Tyler McCurry.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tyler McCurry. I'll be a deputy employed by Osceola County Sheriff's Department, or Sheriff's Office, excuse me. I was chosen by my class to share some of our memories from our time here at Kirtland Regional Police Academy. I only have about an hour to talk, so I'll try to make it quick. I'm kidding. It's not going to be an hour. Before I do, though, I do have some thanks to give out. First of all, I would like to thank all the family and friends here today that came to support their new deputy or officer. Without the support of our family and friends, the tasks that we have faced and the task ahead of us would not be so easy. Next, my class and I would like to thank all the Academy staff and our instructors for their time and dedication they put into the Academy. The instruction they provided us has prepared us for various scenarios we could be placed in as law enforcement officers. We would also like to thank our sponsoring agencies for placing the trust they have in us up to this point. These sheriffs and chiefs looked at each of us one day and had faith that we might one day become effective law enforcement officers. And last but not least, we would like to thank our unofficial sponsors, Monster Energy Drinks, any company that has ever made coffee, and for us older cadets, ibuprofen. Now let's jump into the Academy. When we showed up here on August 12th, no one really knew what to expect. There was hope, excitement, nervousness, and just a little bit of fear in everybody's eyes. For our orientation, we had about 17 cadets. When we showed up on 12 August, we had 14. We met in the parking lot and started chatting, not quite knowing or maybe wanting to head in yet. As we headed in, the excitement for a lot of us began to build. We went through our morning, got our gear issued to us, set up our belts, filled out some paperwork, and then around 1 p.m., we met our PT staff. I don't really have a way to describe how that 15 minutes went. Maybe it was an hour, who really knows? That was the first time some of the cadets had been in such an encouraging environment. I'll go with that word. Now, if you haven't been in those situations before, I encourage you to be cautious while answering questions. And I say that because Cadet Clark learned very quickly that there's a thing called a no-win situation when it comes to answering some of those questions. Lucky for him, it only lasted just a few minutes. After our introduction to our PT staff, we headed into the locker room and changed to get ready for PT. We were given about 6 minutes, or was it 2? I'm pretty sure it was 2. Either way, we hurried out of the locker room into formation, and that's when we first learned of the command, fall in. Now, I don't know if anyone's watched the slideshow out in the lobby, but it does have an image of what I'm about to describe here. So I do want to take a second and explain what the command fall in means, because it was apparent that on the first day there was some confusion for Cadet Barnard. What it does not mean is literally fall in. You don't need to fall down while doing so. It typically just means get into formation. After that little mix-up, we then completed our day 1 PT session. That consisted of a game instructors like to play called Wrong Wall. So I'll describe it to you guys. Basically, look at any wall in this gym and just know it's the wrong wall. You're gonna run, you're gonna touch it, it's gonna be the wrong wall. We also learned about the Y squat, which was one of my personal favorites. The PT program in this academy is based on a crawl, walk, run approach, as described by our instructors throughout the academy. Well, that day, we had a lot of opportunities to crawl. Low crawl, army crawl, crab crawl, bear crawl, and just about any other variation you can think of. There weren't many days like that first PT session in our academy, but it sure was memorable. Now here at the Kirtland Regional Police Academy, you have many opportunities to learn. Learning about different Michigan compiled laws, different motor vehicle codes, and various scenarios that test our knowledge and forces us to apply what we learned. Some of our lessons took place here at Kirtland and Grayling. Some were in the Roscommon campus, the Roscommon County Jail, at the gun range, or even at a gas station in Roscommon. All those lessons were learned and put to very good use over the duration of our academy and will be used in the careers we have ahead of us. Some of the favorite weeks the class wanted me to mention were most definitely the 2 weeks of the gun range and the week of EVO. During those weeks we were at the gun range, a lot of rounds were fired. Some of them, as Cadet Anderson can attest to, left their mark on some of the equipment. Not to worry though, the instructors made sure to have him sign it so he could be remembered for his work that he completed there. One of the highlights of the academy also happened at the gun range. We had a DNR officer at the gun range that helped us in many ways. Surprisingly enough, in his many duties at the gun range, he was able to teach Cadet Gutierrez how to fish. So believe it or not, he actually caught something. Unfortunately, it was the glasses that he had dropped in the porta potty mere hours before. And if you are curious, there is an image of that as well in our slideshow. EVO was also a major highlight of our academy because, I mean, who doesn't like driving fast, right? To be clear, we were on a closed track. We weren't just speeding around the highways. Please don't do that. But again, EVO was a lot of fun, but a lot of work. Some of us were not used to driving fast or maneuvering vehicles in that way. Others, like Cadet Karen and Cadet Johnson, were pretty used to it. EVO proved to be, again, one of the most fun weeks. I remembered sitting there as my classmates drove by, hearing different songs that they would play on their radios when they connected their phones to the vehicles. Oddly enough, I'm pretty sure I heard Barbie Girl coming from Cadet Cheryl and Cadet Clark's car at some point. Others played various songs. Cadet Laws and I were a fan of playing some Freebird during our fast driving portions. It helped, I promise it helped. During our time in the academy, there are a few nicknames that developed over time. My class has asked that I share some of them with you. Names like Pop Pop for Cadet Anderson, being the oldest individual in the class. Karen for Cadet Karen. She's a huge fan of that one. I was named Class Dad, as I was the first class leader. Sheriff Stern actually came up with this one for Cadet Barnard. He was actually known as Cadet Barnyard throughout the duration of the academy. Again, something he was very fond of. Cadet Johnson earned the name Captain Jack after an incident that he encountered during pepper spray, but I'll get into that in just a second. So there were very few serious injuries that occurred during our academy, which I count as extremely lucky. Cadet Johnson was injured during pepper spray. He lost a bit of his eye, right? But it grew back. Cadet Cahoon had a shoulder injury that put him on the PT bike for a day. And then basically everyone partnered with Cadet Benjamin or Cadet Laws had a new injury or lump or bruise the next day. Throughout our time in the academy, we got to know each other very well. Just about each time we met a new instructor, they would have us introduce ourselves. They would also ask us what our reason for joining law enforcement was. Some of my classmates shared that they had always had a passion for a career in law enforcement, or that they knew from a young age, maybe they still are young, that law enforcement was going to be their career. Some shared that they had family members in law enforcement and wanted to join them. Some shared that they just wanted to help people. Knowing what I know now, about these 12 other individuals, the agencies these folks are going to are extremely lucky to have them. I will close by saying this. We've prepared the best we can for the next step in our careers, thanks to this academy and its cadre. We're excited to get after the job, excited to learn, and excited to make a difference. Now we will present the class flag. So Cadet Cole, would you mind coming up and helping me?
And now for our awards presentations. We have several categories that we always do in the Academy: firearms, physical training, defensive tactics, our Academic Achievement Award, and then our MCOL's Outstanding Performance. Our first awards for firearms will be given by Wexford County Lieutenant Richard Dennison.
Good morning. First of all, congratulations. I want to expound on a short matter that was brought up in Cadet McCurry's speech there. Yeah, some items were on the opposite end of a bullet. However, we expect that when you're dealing with cadets coming in to something new. So with that, you heard him say there's a signature on those items at the range. That's been a long history of our program. The big thing is that we're thankful that I don't have the signature on me. So, however, with that 2 weeks that was mentioned, there is 80+ hours of training for these cadets that is provided through the program. However, that training does not end after those 80 hours. It's an unfortunate thing. Society has an ugly side to it. And it's been an honor for myself and our staff to prepare them for if that ugliness shows itself. And throughout that program, we gave them that knowledge and training, and I think they all understand that it didn't end after that 80 hours. It continues for the rest of their careers, and I hope they stay on top of that. However, we did meet them on day one. The instructors always are nervous day, giving them a firearm, do not know their backgrounds, don't know anything about them. So we put them through some drills so we can get a baseline on what we're dealing with for those 2 weeks. And over that course of time, they received training, and then obviously throughout that program, we watched to see who was really overall has that baseline, and then the ones that were struggling, and then improve throughout our program. And so with that, it's an honor for me to have Braden Benjamin, please come forward. That Benjamin really showed extreme knowledge when it comes to firearms. He is also a military veteran, so we thank him on that. But with his knowledge and his baseline of knowledge of using his firearms, we as the cadre would like to present him with the top shooter for Class 59. And like I said earlier, because everybody has a different background and knowledge coming into our program, with that we would like to have Richard Cahoon come up. Richard here has some talents within his abilities with his firearm. However, again, it was an honor to work with him, to provide him with the training and knowledge. And with that, as he progressed through the program, he showed that knowledge and absorption and maintained a continual progression throughout our program. And so on our behalf of the cadre and the firearms program, we would like to provide him with a certificate for the most improved shooter of our program. Thank you.
And now our Physical Training and Defensive Tactics Awards will be given by Roscommon Sheriff Edward Stern.
Good morning. First off, on behalf of the staff for PT and DT, I want to congratulate you guys. You've accomplished a goal that many people talk about when they're this little, but very few people achieve. But I got to clear a couple things up real quick, especially after Cadet McCurry's speech. It must have been a really stressful day, and you guys must have been like overwhelmed, because my recollection of day one is nothing like what you talked about. It was compassion and care. You guys crawled. We didn't make you. You chose to. This was an exceptional class. It was mentioned earlier today between some of the instructors how professional, responsible that they are. Even with some that are very young, they were able to hold a high standard with the ones that have more life experience, and that's very commendable, which made it very difficult for us. Through the course of the academy, 16 weeks, the cadets are put through a pretty vigorous PT program with the thought process of what Officer Gutierrez was talking about earlier, PT being fit for duty, fit for life, carrying it on past this program, which also helps with your ability to do your job and your mental health. Throughout the course of that 16 weeks, there was no one person that I couldn't say was a leader in the class, and that's very rare, which made it really difficult for us, because normally when we're looking at awards, we're looking at not only raw scores, but also their leadership levels and going above and beyond to help others. But they were all doing that throughout the course of the academy. So the first award is for top PT. Let me give you some numbers here. 26.5-inch vertical jump, 72 sit-ups, 72 push-ups, and 3 minutes and 25 seconds in a half-mile shuttle run. That award goes to Cadet Benjamin. The second award in PT goes to the most improved. Now, everybody's scores increased throughout the academy, but there was one that stuck out. He lost at least 16 pounds, gained 2.5 inches in his vertical jump, 8 more sit-ups in the day that he started, 24 more push-ups in day one, and he dropped 26 seconds off his half-mile shuttle run. The award for most improved goes to Tyler McCurry. Okay, defensive tactics. It's a hard program. I'm sure a lot of you have heard when they came home about their bumps and bruises and their boo-boos and ibuprofen and things like that. It's not an easy program, but they suffered through it and they did extremely well. Again, with this class, it's very hard to pick who receives awards because they all did an amazing job, but we have to pick 2 people. The award for top in defensive tactics goes to Richard Cahoon. And one of the biggest reasons why Cadet Cahoon received that award, not only did he do very well with defensive tactics, but there were multiple occasions, even on test day, where we saw him pull somebody aside who was struggling with a technique, and he was coaching them and trying to clean those techniques up before the other cadets were testing, or they just didn't quite understand it. Second award goes to most improved in defensive tactics. That doesn't mean that they were horrible at the beginning, but you could see during the academy that light switch kicked on, and they really maybe they didn't quite understand everything at the beginning. They were able to take the techniques and the drills that we did and turn them into something that they really understood and they were very proficient in. And that award goes to Cameron Johnson. Unfortunately, I'm not able to give all you guys awards. That's just the way it is. But I do want to commend you on everything that you did the last 17 weeks. You're an amazing class to work with, like I told you a couple days ago. I don't know if you're the best or not because I can't remember, okay? But you were very enjoyable, and I wish you guys all the best. And if there's ever anything you need, don't hesitate to call. Congratulations.
Our next award is our Academic Achievement Award. During the course of the academy, the recruits have well over 10, maybe 15 different exams that they have to take. And by the standard set by MCOLS, they have to maintain a 70% on each exam. One of my favorites is the spelling exam. And for whatever reason, that exam, probably more than any of them, causes the most undue stress. I love it. The Academic Achievement Award for Class 59 goes to Joshua Gutierrez. Our last award is the MCOLS Outstanding Performance Award, and it will be given by our MCOLS representative, Michael Logie.
All right, congratulations, recruits. If you follow the words by Chief Gutierrez, you'll have a great career, and I congratulate you. MCOLS is the licensing and regulatory authority for law enforcement in the state of Michigan, and as such, we oversee the police academies in the state. And first of all, I want to thank very much Director Perriott and Coordinator Feldhauser for putting on such a great academy. The reviews by the recruits were excellent. And I always tell the instructors, I know it's like Groundhog's Day for them because they're coming back every time. And they make such a difference. And I just want to say how thankful we are to have these instructors. The reviews for the instructors were excellent. The recruits said how much they look up to these instructors. And without great instructors, you know, I say it every academy, but we don't have great police academies in the state. And as the director said, this is literally one of the best academies, and I'm very proud to be associated in a very small way with it. Having said that, the Outstanding Performance Award is not just for academics, but it's really for overall leadership, character, all those things you want in a great police officer today, and for your exemplary demonstration of the knowledge, skills, and abilities required of an effective police officer during the basic training program. The Outstanding Performance Award, your award's not quite done by our woodworkers yet, is awarded to Russell Anderson. Let's give you that, though. One last thing too. I have to administer a licensing exam. They actually get a license. It's just like, you know, driver's license, that kind of thing for law enforcement. You can't be a law enforcement officer without your MCOLS license. And you only have 2 opportunities to take the test. You don't get the second test is not the first one. It's different, obviously. And it is a very hard test. And I'm proud to say that they all passed the test on their very first try. So congratulations on that. Thank you.
And now we will conduct our badge pinning. So those that are going to pin badges for our first row, if you would come on up. Squad 1, chin, hood. Right, face. Fall out to be pinned, fall up. Thank you, folks, and come on up. Thank you. Squad 1, left, face. Take your seats, fall out. Squad 2, left, chin, hood. Left, face. Follow to be pinned, fall out. Those that are going to pin our squad number 2 can please come up. Thank you so much. Squad 2, left face. Take your seats, follow. We'll now present our graduation certificates to the cadets. Officer Russell Anderson. Deputy Christopher Barnard. Officer Braden Benjamin. Deputy Richard Cahoon III. Officer Americus Karen. Deputy Aiden Clark. Deputy Cody Cole. Joshua Gutierrez. Deputy Cameron Johnson. Deputy Lillian Laws. Deputy Tyler McCurry. Rodney Most II. Deputy Ethan Sherrill. And now, Class 59 will recite the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. Class, attend, hoot!
Class 5-9, the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve the community, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, to respect the constitutional rights of all, to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all. I will behave in a manner that does not bring discredit to me or my agency. I will maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule. Develop self-restraint. Be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed, both in personal and official life. I will be exemplary in obeying the laws and regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature, but is confided to me in my official capacity, will be kept ever secret, unless revelation is necessary in the performance of my duty. I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudice, political beliefs, aspirations, animosities, or friendships to influence my decisions. With no compromise for crime and with relentless prosecution of criminals, I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately, without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith, and I accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of police service. I will never engage in acts of corruption or bribery, nor will I condone such acts by other police officers. I will cooperate with all legally authorized agencies in their pursuit of justice. I know that I alone am responsible for my own standard of professional performance, and will take every reasonable opportunity to enhance and improve my level of knowledge and competence. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement.
Well done. Before dismissal, if you want to retrieve your stuff on the ground. Class 59, congratulations on your graduation from the Kirtland Community College Regional Police Academy. Welcome to the law enforcement family. Well done. You are dismissed.